starts now.
8 women say they are survivors of mental, physical, and emotional abuse they suffered at the hands of men at this North Jacksonville church. Now they're calling on others to come forward. The women are describing their experiences at Jacksonville Assembly of the Body of Christ Church following 3 arrests in a case of capital sexual battery.
Pastor Paul Dyal was taken into custody Wednesday night, and Jerome Teschendorf and Vernon Williamson were arrested in Oklahoma. News4Jax reporter Marilyn Parker joins us live. Marilyn, as we're hearing from these women today, what have you been able to learn about the suspects who were arrested out of state?
So we learned that Williamson was extradited here to the Duval County Jail on Saturday, and the Teschendorf is looking to be here sometime soon. Now, the women we spoke with, along with their attorneys, say they believe this abuse went on after they left the church. They also believe it's possible that some of this abuse was experienced by people at other churches that the Assembly associates themselves with. They described mental, emotional, and financial abuse from people at this church. They say it was only a matter of time that arrests were made and that they will be able to come forward and tell their stories.
The women at this table and on Zoom all had different experiences at the Jacksonville Assembly of the Body of Christ. At the old church, they remembered strict rules they had to follow dating back to the 70s.
Oppression doesn't seem like oppression if it's really all you've ever known.
At the head of the church was Pastor Paul Dyal. He, along with Vernon Williamson and Jerome Teschendorf, are all charged with capital sexual battery following reports of abuse inside the church. Lisa Stroud was Teschendorf's stepdaughter.
The church made him the youth leader at one point. He's hurt a lot of people, and I think that as this case continues, that's going to come out.
Their school was on church grounds. When they weren't in church, they were at school.
It was an isolation. It is fear, intimidation.
We were segregated and we were secluded from the outside world and ostracized. We were made to look extremely different so that other people looked at us like we were the odd people.
They talked about being shamed for cutting their hair, unknowingly enticing men at the church, and even being set up with men at other churches.
I'm 16, 17 years old, and you're sending a 40-something-year-old man to try to court me?
They say they were also beaten with paddles.
And when he hit you with it, like Paul Dyal hit me with it, and when he hit me as a little child, I'd fly across the desk and he'd pull me back by my ankle. So I had bruises that come from my neck all the way down to my ankle.
Some of them express relief that all of this is finally coming out.
With being brought up in it, it was normal. Okay, first of all, let me clarify that. It became our normal.
They say it was like being in their own world. Not knowing how they were treated wasn't okay.
Now, their attorney, Cynthia Crawford, says some of the women are not speaking on all of their experiences with this church because that is essentially their case with the state attorney's office. However, they are asking any other folks who say they are survivors of abuse at this church to come forward. We have the attorney's information available right now on news4jax.com. Reporting live, Marilyn Parker, Channel 4, the local station.
Marilyn, did the attorneys say exactly what they want from this case?
So Attorney John Phillips said, usually you would hear attorneys say that they're demanding money or that they want to sue, but they said this is not a case that can be compensated by a dollar amount. He says there are victims out there who fall in line or within the statute of limitations that need to know their rights and that they have rights that still exist and they can do something about it. And ultimately, they say they want to provide a safe space for potential victims and give them more information.
Thank you, Marilyn. Again, that's Marilyn Parker reporting live from downtown Jacksonville. Thank you, Marilyn.